of what's going to happen today. The first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to do this Crankie up here. Now, Crankie is an old-fashioned way of telling a story. People would do this 2,000 years ago before they could read, and they would tell a story like in Egypt and places and in China, where they would roll the story on paper and they would tell the story, and it would be passed from person to person the way that it was like an early book. And so about 8 years ago in the Summer Library series, I did a show and I put a Crankie in it because I'd always wanted to try a Crankie. And if anybody's interested in Crankies, I highly suggest that you go see Catherine Fahey Pickett's Charge on YouTube. Oh my God, when I saw that, Pickett's Charge, Catherine Fahey, she lives in Baltimore, and when I saw it for the first time, I went, I had no idea the art form could be that incredible. I'm going to try it. So I would do a bunch of little ones, and then for the library, I said, well, I want to do one that's big enough for everybody to see. So I'm going to do the Crankie. It's going to be about 8 minutes, and then I'm going to take a minute or two to take it down, and then we'll have a puppet show. Does that sound fair to you guys? Okay, if you're ready to have a whole lot of fun this morning, raise your hand. If you're ready to see a puppet show, raise your other hand. Count backwards from 10 to 0 as your hands come into your laps, and the show will begin. Everybody, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Blue Sky Puppet Theater proudly presents a Crankie today entitled, Will Anything Go Right for a Little Bear? Once there was a little bear who was so little he couldn't even reach up to the light switch. So sometimes things would go wrong in the dark. This day he put his shoes on the wrong feet. And his dad came in and he said, Little bear, your shoes are on the wrong feet. And he went, oh no, will anything go right for me today? Can everybody try saying that? Everybody. Oh no, will anything go right for me today? Well, that day he decided that he was going to go into the kitchen and have breakfast. And he's so little that he had to climb up on a chair. And there was his big brother Buster already there. And big brother Buster, of course, taunted him, said, oh, little bear, you're so little, you got to climb on a chair. Well, little bear chose to ignore his brother's taunts because he was going to do one of his favorite things. He loves Cheerios, and so he pretends that they're binoculars, and he's looking for soldiers coming across the plains. Sometimes he likes to think that they're a telescope and he's looking up into space. And sometimes he likes to look to the bottom of the ocean because he likes to look for shrimp, because that's what his brother calls him all the time, shrimp. But anyway, when it came time to eat his Cheerios, his brother had drank all the milk. And he went, oh no, it's empty. And he just had to say, everybody, oh no, will anything go right for me today? Well, that day on his way into school, he was going up the stairs, climbing up them until, oh no, oh, look what happened. Oh, he got stuck. What is it he's stuck to? It's bubble gum. And he pulled and pulled and pulled, and went, it got broke loose, but look what happened. It got all over the little bear. Oh, and he just had to say, everybody, oh no, will anything go right for me today? Well, it was going to be a big day at school that day because they were going to have the math contest that day. And they were going to be handing out the Stephen Fetter Memorial Trophy at Blender for mathematical excellence. And he really wanted that trophy, I'll tell you. So the teacher put in a formula on the board. And little bear knew exactly what it was. So he raised his hand as high as he could. But the kid in front of him was so big that the teacher couldn't see him. But then his little friend Susie was right across the aisle, and she raised her hand and said, Professor, isn't that the exact expression of the fraction of gamma rays that escape unscattered from a spherical shell of radioactive material? He says, you're right, Susie, and you win the trophy. And she had to jump up and click up her heels, which you don't see people doing very much anymore. And Little Bear was very happy for his best friend Susie, but he was sad for himself. So he just had to say, everybody, oh no, Will anything go right for me today? Well, then it was ding, 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 ding. His favorite period of the day was up. It was recess. And so he jumped out of his desk and ran running to the door. But by the time he got there, the door had shut. And he's so little he couldn't reach the doorknob. So he's a smart little bear and resourceful. So he went and got a chair and climbed up and opened the door. But then by the time he got back, the door had shut. And he says, well, I got to come up with a better plan. So this time he came up with a book. And he propped open the door with the book. And it was just the right thing to do. But then recess was over. And one of the boys came in and took his book. And he went, oh, everybody, oh, no. Will anything go right for me today? But then it was art class. Oh, and that's one of his favorite subjects, art class. And he's working on a painting. What do you think about his painting? Do you like it? But then something happened. He spilled the paint, the red paint, and it got all over his paws, and then it got all over the painting and the table, and it was a big mess, and he had to say, everybody, oh no, will anything go right for me today? Well, that night, just when he was starting to do his homework, look what happened. His pencil broke, and then he was not happy. He growled. He went, arr. Everybody tried doing that. Arr. Nothing's going to go right for me today or ever. I'm going to be little forever. One more big growl. Everybody. Arr. But then there was a knock on the door. And his mother came to the door and she said, little bear, I just happened to be walking down the hallway. And I just happened to have 2 bowls of ice cream. I don't want it to go to waste. Would you like one? And he goes, well, I wouldn't want it to go to waste now, would I? And so his mother said, little bear, what happened today that was good? And he goes, let's see. Well, I got to play with my Cheerios. That was fun. And then I went to the nurse's office, and she cut the bubble gum out of my hair, and then she gave me a lollipop, a cherry one. How did she know I like cherry lollipops? And then I found a book. It's called The Best Book Ever, and it was the best book ever. And then during lunch, I traded my kale salad to Rodney for his peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I hope you don't mind, Mother. And then my art teacher showed me how to fix my painting. He said, just fix it by cutting out the parts that haven't got red paint. That's what artists do, is just fix stuff. And then Susie came and she said, but just, I know that you knew what the answer was. So, little bear, so why don't you share the trophy with me? And I said, okay, thanks. And then we out on the playground, we had the best time blowing bubbles. It was a really good day. And then Mom and then little bear drifted off to sleep. And Mom said, little bear, you just keep doing what you do best, because you dream big. And one of these days, you're going to be just as big as your dreams. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end. Thank you.